And hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today we'll be learning about installing applications and updating your system and all of that beautiful things. I'll be showing you how to do it on both Debian based systems that use apt or aptitude, and I'll also be showing you how to do it on Arch based distros that use Pacman and the AUR. Now, first thing I want to say is if you use Pacman or you use Arch-based distro, then you probably want to skip forward to the timestamp either in the description or, if you're lucky, right here in the video. Otherwise, feel free to watch and we can continue with our things. Now, first thing you probably want to take note of is searching for applications. So let's say you want to search for a specific application using apt. Now, a thing you can do is you can go apt cache search, and let's say you want to install Vim. Then you can just say Vim, and there you go. Now, if you're a Windows user, you might be used to going here and then like searching up a download and whatever. But in Linux, that's not necessary. You can just search up for that specific application you want, and then right here, for example, Vim. Where be Vim? You can actually grep it if there's too much. So grep -i Vim, and that won't only highlight where Vim is. It will lessen the amount of things there are here. So as you can see, here is the Vim I want to download. So what we can do is we can just say if we want to download it. Problem is I already have it installed, so I'm just going to show you how to uninstall something before installing something. So let's say you want to uninstall Vim. What you can do is you can say sudo apt get. Remember, you have to be super user if you want to remove sudo. If you want to remove an application, then you have to say apt get remove and then Vim, for example, because I already have it installed and I just want to show you how to reinstall it. You insert your password. I'm going to ask you, hey, are you sure you want to delete this? And then you can just say, yeah, I'm sure I want to delete Vim. And there we go. Vim is deleted. Now, if you want to install it, you can go sudo apt get install Vim. Of course, if you want to install something other than Vim, then you have to actually insert the correct name. So if you want to install Vim, you have to say Vim. You can't just say Vim or just Vim. You have to say the entire name. In this case, I just want normal Vim, so I can just say Vim. So if I press enter, then it's going to try and install Vim. And there we go. Now Vim is installed. I can use Vim to do whatever I need. Again, there we go. So yeah, it's as easy as that. You want to install or remove something. Also, you can remove, because as you can see here, the following packages were automatically installed and is no longer required. These are trash packages that you don't need. So if you want to remove these packages, you can either specifically say sudo apt get remove and then let's say py free lib. You can do that and it will remove it. But if the thing is, sometimes this right here can easily become over 10 packages. And then it's going to become really annoying to have to say that. So one thing you can do is you can just say sudo apt get auto remove. And if you press enter, it will automatically remove the libraries that are not required anymore. Now, usually on Windows, if you want to get an update, there is usually, if you want to get like a system update, you not only have to download it, and then you have to reboot, and all of those things. But I'm going to tell you something, on Linux, you don't have to. If you don't even want to get updates, you don't need to get updates. You never have to update anything. Although, if you do want to update something, then it's easy. Sudo apt get update. Now what this is going to do is it's going to get the latest version of everything that you have on your system. It's going to try and get the latest packages, the latest releases that it can, of course. Apt is just a little bit outdated, but it's stable. it won't just install something that will break your system. So now it has gotten all the updates that I may have. Now if I want to update anything, I can just go sudo apt get upgrade, and then the application name if I want to update something specific. Otherwise I can just say apt get upgrade, and it's going to try and update what there is to update. Now I have already updated my system not too long ago, so there's nothing new to update, but you should probably get an update ready to go. But of course here's also a store, so if you want to go to a store, for example, as you just type it software, and here's a graphical user interface software manager, so you can like download games and stuff from here. You might not have the same one I have, depending on the operating system you have, or the Linux version or type you have, and yeah. But you can go there and check it out. Let's say you want to reinstall something. Let's say you have an application and after an update, or maybe just when you installed it, it just isn't working correctly. One thing you can do is you can say sudo apt get reinstall, and it will reinstall the application for you. So let's say Vim, for example. Now I can just say reinstall Vim, and let's say Vim didn't work fine or anything like that, then it's going to uninstall Vim and reinstall the application. Of course, you could just say sudo apt get remove Vim, sudo apt get install Vim, but you know, saying reinstall just works better, and in my case it's much faster. If I go Vim, it's installed, it works perfectly fine. Now here is basically where all users should listen, including the Arch Linux users that I was talking to a while ago. Now this is where you would tune into this video, because Git is something that you will use whether you are on Arch, or if you're on Debian based system, then you won't use it that much probably, but if you're on Arch you will use it. So here I have a GitHub application that I want to download. How would I go about downloading this? First thing I do is I go here to code, and of course you can just say download zip, but this isn't always an option, so you can just say here and just copy this. Just click that copy button, and then inside your terminal, go sudo apt get install git if you don't have git installed already. I already do, so I'm not going to bother with it. Then if you have git installed, you can just go git clone, and you can just give it the things you need. I'm going to just quickly remove, because I have already gitted it, sudo. Now you can say git clone again, and it will basically download all the files from GitHub onto your computer. And then yeah, that's all I wanted to show you, just how to get something from GitHub. Of course you can download it, but if you're on Arch it might not be as easy. And now if I can just go into it if I want to. Now I have the files on my system. That's how you use GitHub's Git. Now I'm going to show the the Arch Linux users how they can install things. Now if you don't use Arch Linux, you can stop watching the video, but if you're interested in still watching it, feel free to continue. Now also another thing, there are more app managers for those Debian users. You can use aptitude, which is the same thing as apt in a sense, but it's maybe a little bit better or maybe a little bit worse depending on how you look at it. A lot of people say they like it more than apt, but I've never used it that much, so I can't really say. You also have snapd or snap, which you can use. I don't like snap, so I don't use it a lot. But yeah, now let's continue to Arch. Now this is Artix. It's an Arch based distro. It doesn't have systemd installed, but basically it's just a nice Arch. So here we can just go here and go to system, and do we have system tools, Mate terminal. So you can just open up your terminal, no problem. Alright, now if you are on an Arch based distro, then you will not have apt, aptitude, or yeah, I think you maybe could have snap, I'm not sure. But basically you'll just have mainly Pacman and the AUR. Now, let's say you want to search for something. So Pacman dash, Pacman dash capital S lowercase s. I think if it's lowercase s, capital S, it will still work the same, but capital S, lowercase s is my preference. And then you can search for something, for example, fake root, which we'll need later on. Now there's only one fake root here, but let's say you want to search for something such as Vim, for example. Then of course there will be a lot more things that will pop up. Now let's say you want to uninstall something, because I'm going to uninstall fake root to show you how to install fake root. One thing you can do is go sudo pacman -r, which stands for remove, and then you can say something like fake root, because I have fake root installed, and then it will ask you, are you sure you want to remove this, and then boom, fake root is removed. Now let's say you want to install something, because if you want to use the AUR, you need to have fake root installed. So one thing you can do is you can say sudo pacman -s, which stands for install, I guess, and you can say fake root. And this will ask you, hey, are you sure you want to install this package? And then you can just say yes. Now, the key difference between apt and Pacman is apt is stable. Applications on it is very old, but it's stable. So you don't have to worry about an application that may not work or that will break your system, because it's stable. But on Arch Linux, Pacman basically installs the latest and greatest. If the new version exists, it's going to install it. So for example, if you want to install Google Chrome or Chromium, for example, then it's going to install, Pacman would install Chromium version 20, for example. But apt would install Chromium version 15. See that difference? But Chromium version 15 is known to be stable and safe to use. Chromium version 20 is the latest release. Not stable, but latest release. So that's kind of how it works. Now, let's say you want to update your system. You can go sudo pacman -sy. Now, it's actually recommended that you don't use sy anymore, but instead syu. I don't know what the difference really is, but I think syu is slightly more secure and safer to use. But then if you do that, it's going to update all of the data in its databases, see what can get updated, and then it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to update? If there is updates available, and if there is updates available, oops, sorry about that, then it will install those updates. Then as you can see, I have a little update here. I can just say yes, and boom. Now that's the basics I know about Pacman. I don't really know a lot more about Pacman, but I do know about the AUR. Now if you are an Arch Linux user, chances are you will most likely be using the AUR a lot. Now what is the AUR? I think it's Arch something repository. Let's say, yeah, Arch user repository. Basically, it's if there's an application that does not exist in Pacman's database, for example, Google Chrome. If you go pacman -ss and you say Google Chrome, then it's not going to return anything because Google Chrome is not in the package manager. If you go pacman -ss and you go Chromium, then it will provide you with everything you need for Chromium. Right here, Chromium. Now, Chromium, yeah, you might know the difference between Chrome and Chromium, but Chromium is basically an less cool version of Chrome. Same thing actually, but let's say you want to install Google Chrome and not Chromium. Then what you can do is you can say Google Chrome AUR. That's all you have to Google. If it has AUR in it, most chances are it's going to lead you to the AUR repository. Now, if you followed my video on the GitHub stuff, or not the video, the section I just told you about, then this right here that's the GitHub link. That is basically what you can put right here and say git clone and just paste that link there. it's going to clone the Google Chrome data or applications into that file. So if you go into Google Chrome folder now, as you can see, here is basically what it's going to install. Now, you need fake root if you want to install this, because we're going to install it from the AUR. Now, if you have fake root installed, then it's easy, but otherwise sudo apt sudo pacman -s capital S, take that a note, fake root, and then boom, it will install fake root. If you already have fake root installed, there's gonna be like, yeah, it's just going to say, hey, there's not really, the next update is not going to be that big. I probably already have fake root installed. Yep, I have fake root installed, so I don't have to worry. Now we can close this. We don't need the browser open anymore. Now inside of this folder, to install it, you need to go make package -si. It's going to use the fake root environment to install Google Chrome. Now basically, if an application is not in the AUR is not in the AUR or in Pacman's database, then basically it doesn't exist on Linux. That's kind of how the sense of it works. How, if you have to think about it, that's kind of how it works. So if you can't find something there, then you should probably give up, or you can just go Google search on maybe how to install it in Linux. Now if you have installed an AUR application, you can remove it the same way you'd install or remove a normal application. For example, pacman-s and then the word that will install something. Pacman-r and then the application that will remove it. Same thing for make package or the AUR. You can just go pacman-r and, for example, this time Google Chrome, and that will remove Google Chrome from your system. And it's going to ask you, hey, it's going to be this big, you want to install it? Just say yes, and it will install within a few seconds. And boom, there you go. Now if I go here to my beautiful Arch Linux or Arctic Linux logo, and I go to Internet, there it is, Google Chrome. Now if I want to install it, as I said, you can just go sudo pacman-r and then Google Chrome. And boom, Google Chrome will be uninstalled. Easy as that. And that's basically all I wanted to show you in terms of where installing and stuff like that. I don't use Arch Linux, so I can't really show you any more things, but that's the basics. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed and now know how to not only search for applications, but also install applications as well on both Linux Mint and Arch Linux. Thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and see you all in the next video.